Why is chronic gut inflammation the cause of all disease? That's simple. Chronic inflammation causes biofilm construction. What's biofilm? Biofilm is really a series of nasty volcanoes that attach to our intestines and cause leaky gut. What's wrong with having leaky gut? Well, those biofilm volcanoes that line our intestines spew out tons of toxic bacteria, fungus, and viruses. And leaky gut allows those toxins to get into the bloodstream. So how do we stop them from getting into our bloodstream? We must break apart and evacuate the biofilm to restore gut health. But doesn't chronic inflammation cause biofilm construction? Yes, we must also eliminate the chronic inflammation. All right, so how do we do that? First, chronic gut inflammation is caused by the food we eat and the stress we endure. Don't tell me I got to change my diet. Yes, we must focus on changing our diet while getting a better night's sleep so as to become more restful and less stressed out. Okay, so what's wrong with my diet? Too much meat, bread, dairy, and sugar. So all I have to do is stop eating the foods I love? No, but you do have to limit it because these foods are causing the chronic gut inflammation. Please explain. You see, our gut is made up of all kinds of bacteria, and the good bacteria are called probiotics. However, the probiotic bacteria only thrive when they are fed prebiotic foods. So what are prebiotic foods? Prebiotic foods are foods that are hard to digest. Foods like onions, raw garlic, chicory root, green bananas, and all fermented foods. But in general, prebiotic foods are fruits, nuts, vegetables, and legumes. So all I have to do is limit the meat, bread, dairy, and sugar while eating more fruits, nuts, vegetables, and beans? Generally speaking, yes. However, it depends on how far gone your gut really is. But I always recommend cutting out certain foods completely, like red meat, bread, table salt, table sugar, caffeine, and all dairy products. Wait, what? The primary focus must be on eliminating the inflammation in your gut. Caffeine, for example, releases stress hormones, which gives you a toxic energy boost while exacerbating the inflammation in your gut. Same can be said for red meat, bread, dairy, sugar, and table salt. So I do have to give up the foods I love. Not really. Let's focus on substitution and limitation, like substituting sugar with organic date sugar, like substituting table salt with Himalayan pink salt. Then there are lots of wheat bread alternatives out there as well. Fine, but what about this whole red meat thing? Just understand that certain foods feed the bad bacteria in our guts, and when these bad bacteria dominate, they cause inflammation in the gut. Okay, I get it. We must eliminate the source of inflammation. But then what can we do? Well, there's a delicate balance to be striven for here. And this is because all of the bacteria in our gut work together to provide nutrients for our bodies. But when those bacteria are out of balance, we suffer from a kind of systemic failure. Wow, okay, so we need to eat way more fruits, nuts, vegetables, and legumes while cutting out certain foods to prevent chronic inflammation. And this is because these nasty biofilm volcanoes are what's really making us sick? That's correct. These biofilm volcanoes are causing the bacteria, fungus, and viruses to get into our bloodstream and into our other organs, including the brain. So all disease really does start in the gut? Yes, all human and mental illness is a result of leaky gut, which is ultimately caused by chronic inflammation and biofilm construction. So what can we do besides change our diets? You should ingest our all-in-one multi-herbal capsules named Hemp4X, where our patented process enhances the entourage effect. So I gotta ask, how did you come to this understanding? Well, I suffered from undiagnosed celiac disease for several years, causing chronic gut inflammation. Then that chronic gut inflammation caused biofilm construction, which ultimately triggered over 100 genetic predispositions to disease, causing cancer of the stomach lining. What are you talking about? First, we inherit our predisposition to disease from our grandparents. Wait, what? It's called epigenetics, and what your grandparents ate during their formative years determines your susceptibility to disease. Is this why some people who abuse their bodies don't get sick? Precisely. Their grandparents ate very well during their formative years. So you're saying that chronic gut inflammation triggers our genetic predispositions to disease, which we inherited from our grandparents? Yes, and cancer is caused by the triggering of over 100 genetic predispositions. What triggers our genetic predispositions? Chronic gut inflammation, biofilm construction, and leaky gut are the core interdependent causes. How did you figure this out? It took me 8 years of dedicated effort with lots of research and self-experimentation, which means I have much more to share. So check out my other videos and subscribe. And let's all relax more and sleep better with Hemp 4X. Oh, almost forgot. One last thing. Please check out these other videos. They'll be of great assistance to you in further developing your knowledge on the subject matter. Thank you very much. Have a great one, and don't forget to subscribe.